All right, everyone. Welcome to ECH Postgame Live, and I am looking forward to this one. The Kraken get their third win in a row, first time in franchise history. They have a three-game win streak. I'm excited. Are you guys? I can see in chat that you are. I mean, what a game. And then beating the top seed in the NHL, the President's Trophy winners from last season, the Colorado Avalanche, to get it done. Yeah, I mean, there's no bigger test than that. I think it says a lot about what this Kraken team is now. And, we saw with these first two wins of the win streak, you've got New Jersey, you've got Ottawa. Not the best teams there, but, the Kraken played well, and I was kind of looking forward to getting a test of that. Really, how good are you playing against a team that really is a challenge, and the Avs certainly qualify there. And they passed with flying colors. Really impressive all throughout the game, whether it was the finishing in the first period, something we haven't seen from the Kraken a lot this season, or, whether it was the shutdown defense in the third period. First of all, the Kraken had the puck, it felt like, most of the third period. They weren't really spending hardly any time in their own D zone until very late. And then when they kept everything to the outside. It was beautiful. So just great all-around effort from the Kraken. Beniers with another point. I mean, we'll kind of get into all the details of this, but let's turn to chat here. We got Alex, Emerald City Dance Party. Yes. Ty, Giant Slayers. Absolutely. Striatic, we beat the 2021 President's Trophy winners. Yep, for sure. I mean, the Avs are a tough opponent, and the Kraken just made it look easy. Let's see, we got X-Kid Z. Were you at the game, Ty? Let's see. Oh, yeah, we'll see if Ty was at the game. All right. I see in chat, sound like I'm talking through a fan. Okay, got that mic in box fan mode. Okay, let's see if we can improve the mic here. All right. Let's see. Is that any better? I can try and let's see. Is that any better, chat? Let me know. Made an adjustment on the mic here. Should be the same as last time. Money. Okay. I'm guessing that's a good sign. Okay. Back to all right, better. Good. All right. Let's see. Back to chat. The Matt Hunter with the Matty Beniers effect. I mean, it really is. This team just plays differently when he's on the roster, and it started the first game he arrived. I know that they dropped that game in Calgary, but it just seems like the possibilities are different, and especially like watching the power play too. Seeing Jared McCann, he's willing to try things he's not willing to try out there. Without Matty Beniers, it's just incredible. See, Ty, incognito stud of the game, Donskoy, he was everywhere tonight. Yes, he absolutely was. Jonas Donskoy, great bounce back after the healthy scratch a couple games ago. I'm glad they kept him in the lineup. I know around morning skate, it looked like he might not have been, but then turns out Geeky was the scratch. I think that was the right call. Donskoy with another good effort tonight. And that's going to be so important heading into this offseason. I think he's someone, like it or not, that the Kraken are probably stuck with for next season, given what that contract is. And if he can turn things around, he can absolutely be a big contributor on next season's team. Braun, didn't see any of the game because watching playoff NBA, but Beniers' line seems to be working. Yeah, it definitely is. It's been working really since the first game that they've put those three together. The chemistry's good again, like what I see from Jordan Eberle tonight, and just the finishing too. That snipe, that's one of those game-changing plays where there was nothing there for him. I mean, nothing really opened up. The goalie was in good position. He was down in butterfly. The shot's not from a great angle, but the truly great players, the real finishers, the difference makers, they find ways every now and again to make that shot, and it can change a game, and it certainly did tonight. Let's see, Tom, RJ, hate to say it, but maybe Dylan should be going to all the games for now on. I was waiting for that comment in chat. Hey, I mean, he should go to all the games. If he wants to go to the games, he certainly can. Yeah, I again hope, I guess I haven't been too bad of a luck charm there, but yeah, something's working with Dylan. I know his parents went there too, so call it Dylan, call it his parents, but yeah, he got to see three really good ones. Christopher, three in a row. Barbara, what a way to start the day. Yes, good morning, Barbara. Yeah, great way to start your let's see, Thursday. Um, let's see, tie a tic tac toe, three in a row. Love it. Lindsay, that's Kraken hockey, baby. Three in a row for the first time in franchise history. And you said it couldn't be done. I think I did say that it was unlikely they would get it done. Certainly, before Beniers and everything, before this level of hope that we all have, it certainly didn't feel possible. But it sure is now. This team is just doing things, playing in a way that I didn't know they could. It's just a different team, it feels like. All right, we got Gregory. Since Beniers has joined the team, we are averaging 3.5 goals a game. Yeah, it's amazing what that does, whether, it's him generating offense himself, making the players around him better, and it just feels like everyone else is more confident, all the way down to the depth scoring. You had Rask and Sprong, last game. You just see the depth guys doing things that they weren't able to do before. It's just everybody's playing with so much confidence. Stratic, sure, they had already clinched and were mostly trying not to get injured, but I will take it. Yes, I mean, not to take anything away from the Kraken, because they played fantastically. It wasn't the Avs' finest effort, that's for sure, and Rantanen not being in the lineup does hurt them. Francouz is not their starting goalie, but still, I mean, they have a lot of their key pieces there. You see what they could do on the Cale Makar goal. They're still a very dangerous team. But yeah, we'll see, how the Avs do in the playoffs. I'm of the opinion that they probably won't get past the second round, but they are still a formidable opponent, that's for sure. And this is a game the Kraken would not have won earlier in the season. X-Kid Z, woo, 3-game win streak. Let's go, Kraken. Medeiros, we did such a good job of choking them off. Absolutely. In the third period, the Kraken possessed the puck, it felt like, most of the time. And when they didn't have it, there were always one or two guys right on the puck. The Avs didn't have any room to work with, no space to maneuver, and it just forced them into making plays they didn't want to make with the puck. And that's exactly how you shut down a game like this. You don't sit back, you don't go into a shell, because that's how you're going to lose. You have to go attacking the puck, still being aggressive, and that's what the Kraken did. Love to see it. Lindsay, 3-1 in the Matty Beniers era, should have been 4-0, and 2-0 in the Mackle mode ownership era. Yes, things are looking good now. Yeah, call it what you want. You've got a lot of new things happening here with Beniers coming in, beast mode, Macklemore, but it all amounts to good as the Kraken have been winning. Medeiros, historic 3-game win streak. Yep, first time ever. Ty grew with the first star, of course. Yes, absolutely well-deserved. Great game from Philip Grubauer. He was awesome in this one. Just so calm. I don't know, maybe it's playing Colorado, what it is. He's looked better, recently in general, but he just looked calm and at home in that game. Nothing seemed to faze him. Even on the Avs' second goal where he wanted the goalie interference there, he just shook it right off afterward and looked fantastic. Reading ID, the Kraken can have nice things too. Yes, it sure looks like it. The Kraken finally have some nice things. Lindsay, and most importantly, avoided the series sweep against the Avs and avenged the chicken parm game. Oh, that's right. That was the chicken parm game where they went down 7-0. It shows how far they've come, how different of a team they are now, because the Avs are still capable of making you look just as silly as they did in that game. On a regular basis, if you don't bring your A game, that's what they're going to do to you. But the Kraken brought their A game, and you see the Avs just looking a lot weaker by comparison. Gregory, Ovechkin scores his 50th of the season, tying Gretzky and Bossy for most 50-goal seasons at 9. More importantly, he ties the game against Vegas 3-3. Glad to hear it. I saw Vegas had the lead last I checked. Anyone but Vegas. Let's go. Alex, Beniers seems like he's going to be a casual point per game guy. Yeah, that's a great way to describe it too. A casual point per game guy. It's not always high profile like, his assist tonight, but that assist comes from winning a puck battle. And yes, Eberle made the highlight reel play there. But Beniers was just doing his thing and kind of casually playing the way he always does. But it's always good. It always generates things around him. And that's how you get points consistently in the NHL. All right, everyone. Yeah. Stratic, Ty plus Matty equals unstoppable. Yeah, I guess so. Brian, hello family. You cannot be more proud, eh? Calm, focused, and deliberate hockey. Absolutely. I mean, the Kraken did not let anything get under their skin in this one. They just under control. Everything was, just calm and focused. And you love to see that from them, especially given that we haven't seen that a ton this season. Let's see. Cochon KG, also Fontaine Ovechkin tied. Yep, the Ovechkin with the 50-goal season record. Chat, see, I think you guys probably have that game on. Chat was right on it when that happened. Rexology, shout out to Vaughn Rohde, guy with an encyclopedic knowledge of NHL rules. Watched him in the WHL 21 years ago, and he was one of the more personable guys there. Great career. Yes, shout out to Vaughn Rohde. Going out, toward the end of his career. I mean, this is awesome for him to be able to do that in Seattle too, with his WHL background, his background in the area. And the officials, as John Forsland pointed out, it's a very tough job to do. You get a lot of what from everyone, but he's did a good job, and good for him. And I'm glad to see him. The officials get some of the recognition they deserve after a long career too. It's not easy to do. See, Greg, repeating it a bit here, but the entire team seems inspired. Honestly, love that the team doesn't seem to be anti-Hackstall. Yeah, I mean, it's certainly a situation where if they were very anti-Hackstall, they had every reason to quit on him at, toward the end of the season, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. I mean, this is a group that still seems, that seems inspired, that seems like they're playing for each other, that seems motivated. And that's, of course, a good sign for Dave Hackstall. Lindsay, Will Borgen continued to impress me tonight, both offensively and defensively. His gap control and ability to shut down the Avs whenever he was on the ice was amazing. Yes, Borgen had another good game, another impressive game. I liked what I saw from him, especially when the Kraken were in shutdown mode too. Especially with his big body. The Avs have a lot of size on the forecheck that they can bring at you, and Borgen stood up well to it. Gap control, glad you brought that up. It was excellent, and that's something where if you don't get that right, the Avs can beat you easily. But Borgen looked really good there, and I think there's a reason that, Cale Fleury came into the lineup tonight, wanted to get him more games, I think, and then Hayden Fleury ended up going out. Now, I know Hayden Fleury played well last game, but I think that says a lot about how well Will Borgen has played, especially since Cale's on the right side, that Hackstall took out Hayden instead of Borgen. I think it doesn't say so much negative anything about Hayden, but Will Borgen, that's a good endorsement there from the coaching staff. Hunter, I haven't checked Tankathon in a while, and it feels amazing that we are not in a tank battle anymore. Yeah, the Kraken have pretty much taken themselves out of that first overall pick tank battle. Arizona is running away with that one. I think they might clinch it in the next few days. So Kraken don't have to worry about the number one spot. Yeah, lottery odds released today also. And you look at those lottery odds, it's basically about a 2% drop for every spot that you go. So I'm not too worried about it. I think with this, the Kraken do pass the Flyers in the standings, but come on, we'll take it for these wins. It's just so fun right now. Absurdly saying, I have confidence that Donskoy is going to turn things around. Yeah, I think he will. And kind of seeing him behind the scenes, he's definitely wants to be part of the solution. He's committed to that. He wants to turn things around, not just for himself, but for the Kraken. I think he's going to come out and have a really good season next season. Let's see, Reading ID. Gru finally got his revenge game. Happy ending. You'll love to see it. Yes, this was a revenge game for Gru. Had lost the previous matchup there. Glad to see him get a win against his former team. He enjoyed that one. If you saw his celebration at the end of the game too, he was pumped up. He was into it. Absolutely love to see it too. Yeah, Lindsay pointing out Flyers passed us for third from the bottom, but I don't even care that we're hurting our Shane chances. Just want to enjoy the beginning of the Beniers era. Exactly. That's what's most important. I think everyone here is on board with that. Get the wins, enjoy it, and then just, hope, get your lucky charms out for the draft lottery because, no matter how much the Kraken win at this point, they're going to have a shot at the number one pick. It just depends what the percent odds are. Ty, can't wait to ask Dylan about Rask. Big dud tonight, lol. I thought he had some, I thought he had some good plays. There were moments, but yeah, we'll definitely ask Dylan about Victor Rask. JMG, do you think the Kraken would have won the challenge on the Avs' second goal? That's a really good question. I was waiting for someone to ask that. No, I don't think they would have. There were a couple sticks in the area there. It's one of those two where it's not intentional. I don't know. There just was not enough there for me. And I know Grubauer clearly felt something there, in his pads, and he can't see whose stick that is or anything. He just felt something, holding his stick away. But I don't think the Kraken would win that challenge. And also, I've got a lot of faith in their video coaches, Tim Ohashi and Brady Morgan. They do a really good job, and that they're looking over that, over and over again before they give the word to Dave Haxtell. They do a really good job, and so I trust their judgment on that as well. Rexology, coming into the season, I had the 60-point mark as the point that I would not consider a failure of a first season. Looks like we may get to 60 now. Yeah, 60 is certainly within the realm of possibility, and the way they're playing, I think they could certainly hit that. And yeah, I think that's, a good, lower end benchmark going into the season, as far as what's acceptable, and it looks like they may hit that. Lindsay, Mariners beat Texas and Kraken beat the Avs. What is happening in Seattle sports tonight? I know Maddie's got the mojo all good. Something is clearly different. Maybe it's Dylan being in town. I don't know. But things are going great right now. Christopher, Seattle has Beniers fever. His green warm-up jersey went for $13,000. Wow. Yeah, no, that's a lot of money, but hey, it's a Matty Beniers warm-up jersey. I think this is the first time they've done the auctions there when he's been on the team. So I'm not surprised it probably set a record. I think Dylan said it set a record. Hunter, roses are red, violets are blue. The Kraken are vibing, and so are you. Yes, so are we all. Love it. Ty, great 60 minutes. Forecheck was nasty tonight. Mostly good job clearing the zone as needed and a surprising positive transition play. Kraken able to make the zone fairly easy and often get set up. Yeah, zone entries too were another big area where the Kraken did really well tonight. I was kind of surprised how easy Colorado was letting them have the zone at times, but the Kraken took advantage of it. They also used their speed and some puck movement too to create some things on zone entries and being able to get set up. Just the pressure on the puck too. That's the thing. Whenever there was any kind of loose puck off a zone entry or a dump in, the Kraken were all over it all game. I mean, that's the kind of consistently good forechecking they've been searching for. Feels like all season, and it shows the power of buy-in. When you have all the players buying in to go fetching those pucks, going after them really hard, it makes a big difference. David, great game. The choice for the Davy Jones might be a tricky one. Yes, it will be. Let's see. Adam Larson, I believe, has the choice. We'll see who he picks. I feel like Grubauer might be the front runner, especially against Colorado, but we'll see what we get. Lindsay, I was going to place a bid and then saw how much they were going for and went, nope, real quick and hit that X. Yeah, no, that's a little expensive for really anyone, on jersey like that. Wendy, it's the Travers family effect. Woohoo, 3 in a row. Yes. Glad you got to make it out to the game. Dylan and his family all in the building. I mean, Kraken can't lose when that's the case. Stratic, yeah, even coasting at like 80% power, the Avs are still a much better team than the Sens or Devils, and the Kraken handled them confidently. Exactly. Yeah, even, not at full strength, the Avs are still a very good team, and they've beat teams consistently this season while not at full strength. They've had a lot of injury issues. They've, had a lot of players out of the lineup at times. It just doesn't seem to matter. They play the same way, and the Kraken stepped up to the challenge. Medeiros, I don't know. I think we've won every time I've gotten blasted during the game, so... Oh man, I guess you know what you have to do? I guess I don't want to encourage that. So I'm not going to. But, all right. Ferris, the Kraken didn't play timid. Great performance by the boys. Beniers was everywhere. He was in the right place 8 minutes left in the third to stop an Avs player in the slot from getting the puck. I mean, we're seeing this every game from Matty Beniers. The defensive awareness, knowing the right spots to be. It feels like he takes away a good scoring chance, at some point in the game, at least a few times, every single game we watch him, just by virtue of being in the right spots. His instincts are incredible. And it's so fun to watch, too, when you know to pay attention, you know what you're looking for. You just find these things. Ty, defense using the body to disrupt the Avs was perfect. Big Rig still not using the body, but Borgie and Lars were shaking the boards. Borgen's dump to Lind, wow. Yes, that stretch pass. I love that play. Just in general, I love that play. Whenever teams go to try and beat out the icing like that, when you see a guy going with speed, knowing that he can beat his defender back, I think teams should do that more often. It always seems to catch the other team off guard. Worst case, especially if you do it at the start of a shift, worst case is a D-zone draw. It's not that bad. Versus when you win a play like that, you see exactly what can happen. With Lynn just kind of effortlessly going around Francouz. Francouz was thrown off by it too. He had his arm up for the icing. He was not ready to challenge Lind on that shot. And Lynn just walks right around him. So I love that play. Gregory, Caps and Vegas headed to OT. All right, so Vegas gets at least a point, unfortunately. We'll see what happens. Oh, Vegas wins. All right, well, I just looked down in chat. Lindsay, Beniers hasn't known an NHL game without getting a point. Crazy. Let's keep the trend going on Friday. Yeah, he is a point per game player in the NHL. That's what he is. And so great to see it. Stratic, need to pour a little water on the Beniers fires. A lot of the points he's been getting have been off some pretty lucky bounces. I disagree. He's actually a point per game player right now. I'd love to be proven wrong, but I'm seeing a good player, but also a lot of variance. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's going to get a point every game, but I think there's a solid underpinning to a lot of the points that he's getting. Going to the right spots, getting to the net. I mean, that high tip is just something special, that he was calling for that too. I know it went off, an opposing player, but he's creating that offense. I mean, you look at his assist on his first career point to Donato. That's just something he's creating there. That he's making that happen. That's no fluke. So I think, the underpinnings are really good there. I don't know that over a full season he's necessarily a point per game player, but I think he's pretty darn close to it. So I like what I'm seeing there. And like I mentioned earlier too, tonight, yes, the Eberle shot was fantastic, and normally that shot doesn't go in, but he's winning puck battles. He's setting stuff up from that. It is things that he's doing. It's not like a secondary assist there. JMG, Kraken have an 18.5% chance to get the number one pick. Let's see. I'm checking the odds here. I don't know. No, that's the bottom team has an 18.5% chance to get the number one pick. So right now in their spot, the Kraken are at 9.5%, I believe. Ty 100% agreeing with Stratic. Hunter, Rhodey was on the most recent Sound of Hockey podcast. Yeah, I did see that. Cool they were able to get him. Cool to talk to the officials too. Alex, the point per game thing was somewhat in jest. Some bumps are to be expected. Oh no, for sure. I'm not saying he's going to get 82 points next season necessarily. But at the moment he's doing everything necessary to get those points. Greg, yeah, wins are the best. People that root for losses to add 2% need to be banned. Yeah, 2% for losing a bunch of games. I'd rather have the wins. I think we're all kind of in that camp. Shea Theodore scored the winner. Yeah, there was a Seattle Thunderbirds bus outside the arena today. I don't know if they were in the building or what. I wasn't there, but I saw that there was a bus there. Valentina, so happy to see all the Donskoy I love tonight. He killed the obstacle course at the skills showcase and has the best hands on the team, if you ask me. Yeah, he really did. I remember being there. Did a fantastic job on that. I mean, the stick handling, he's so good with that. And, if he can just get to the point where he's using that more consistently like he has been, he can be a really productive player. Oh, Valentina, but for the love of God, no more button hooks on breakaways. Take the shot. Yes, exactly. Need to have that shooter mentality. If you've got a close chance like that, just take the shot. Ty, how long is Dylan staying? Lol, I'm back in a week for my NFT game. Unfortunately, Dylan's not staying that long. This is actually the last home game this season that he'll be able to go to. I'm sure you all are very disappointed to hear that. Hopefully things will stay okay. But yeah, Dylan, I don't think he won't be here for the next 2 home games. Lindsay, so how much money do we need to donate to get Dylan to move to Seattle / attend every game next season so we can go 82-0? Yeah, let's see. We'll start a GoFundMe or something. Get Dylan to come up here. If we can make this a workable thing for the two of us, I feel like we've got a chance. Still need to get on the advertising stuff a little bit more, but we're working on it. Sergeant Pickles just caught up watching the recording. Let's go. Yes, welcome, Sergeant Pickles. Hunter, what happened to those NFTs? I haven't heard anything about them since the disastrous launch. I haven't either, especially since they were tied in with the mascot. I have not heard from anyone who bought one of those mascot hint NFTs, and I would love to hear what happened with that. I should try and do a little bit more digging, I guess, but I don't know of anyone. I haven't heard of anyone that bought one of those, but they were supposed to give you a hint at the mascot, so I wonder what happened. Yeah, Valentina. Well, now the Travers family has to move here. That's what they got to do. I definitely would support that. It would be great to have Dylan around all the time. Then again, I am very, very biased. So that's all I got to say. Ty, I got one that won free tickets, and that's the last I heard about NFTs. They were a mess and really turned me off. Yeah, they certainly were a mess. And I think there's a reason the Kraken just have not talked about that since. Sergeant Pickles, count 'em, 5 studs. Groovy being a wall, Lindy goalie kiss goals, Maddie B 4 for 4, Yanni doing Yanni things, and Lars being a monster. That all 5 of those check out to me. Yeah, great from everyone. Yeah, Grubauer is awesome. We talked about that. The Lynn goalie kiss goals. Love to see it. I hope someone got video of the Lynn goalie kiss. Normally I would get it being at the game, but couldn't do that tonight. Yeah, Beniers we talked about. Yanni, just you can't turn the energy off. He always brings what he does. And then Larson being a monster. What else is new? Reading ID, RJ, how you feeling, by the way? Are you going to get released from quarantine in time for a Travers family reunion? I don't know. We'll see how that works out. I'm feeling better, though. I'm feeling great. All the symptoms pretty much all gone, so I'm doing awesome. Not cleared officially to be released, back to Kraken things or back to outdoor life, but soon, very soon. So hopefully I'll get to see Dylan, but I don't know for sure. Sergeant Pickles, 3 duds, not quite getting the 4-2 on 420. Oh man, that would have been funny. Those hideous blue pants, agreed. The Avs, they had the perfect uniforms like 3 years ago, and they've just been ruining them with little tweaks ever since. And ump calls for Julio Rodriguez. I'm going to take your word on that one since I not watched the Mariners game at all. Brian at Ferris, that was Maddie's best play of the game, intercepting that puck in the low slot. He consistently pops up in the right places. He really does. Positioning always on point for Maddie. Valentina, there was a super sweet moment on TV break between Gru and Rhodey. He skated connected with Gru patting Rhodey on the back, smiling and nodding for like 10 seconds. Gru is such a class act. Absolutely he is. Truly the German gentleman in every way, and good to see that. Cody, putting yourself in a position to capitalize on the lucky plays has to be worth something. Absolutely it is. And that's what the greatest players do. And you make your own luck. That's really what it's about. The great players go to the right spots to get those lucky bounces. And that's why you see things over a large sample size in the aggregate. They make it happen. Lindsay, Gruby, Lind, and Gord are the official 3 stars of the game. Okay, Gruby's good, Lind is good, Gord is good. Sergeant Pickles, 3 unsung heroes. Borgen, solid work. Yes, we did talk about that a little bit earlier. Kale holding down his man. Yes, agreed. Yeah, impressed by Kale Fleury. It seems like they have a surplus, of really good defensemen now playing really well. It's going to be tough. Again, with Hayden Fleury out of the lineup, I thought he did well last game, but it's going to be tough to get him back in there, given how well Kale and Borgen are playing. And Kuhlman getting in some good shot opportunities. Yeah, Carson Kuhlman has, I think, certainly played his way into a contract offer. He looks great on that line. Good waiver pickup by Ron Francis. Let's see. Ty, good Lord. The like to watcher ratio is brutal. Fix it, fam. Yeah, we got 44 people in here, only 27 likes. I know we can do better than that. Come on, everyone like the stream. Let's go. Lindsay, I bought all my gear and stick tonight for my learn to play hockey class last night, and the guy who fitted me was the former equipment manager for the Vancouver Giants in the WHL. Wow, I mean, can't get much better than that. And congrats on getting fitted for your gear. That's always a fun time learning to play hockey. It's a great journey. Sergeant Pickles, Dylan can be our live Coachella correspondent. I've made the LA to Palm Springs drive. It's not too bad, lol. Yeah, I've made that drive a few times myself. It really isn't too bad. And I'm sure Dylan is going to make it out there for, at least a few, certainly one the two of us have to go to. And then I think he'll probably make it out to at least one more, I would imagine. Sergeant Pickles, as per usual, the Root broadcast cut away just as we were getting goalie kisses. Oh, come on. They need to get the memo. I got to go talk to some of the Root people when I come back, because we need the colon goalie kisses. It's what the people want. So I'll make sure that they know. Lindsay, RJ, if it helps, I tested negative for the first time yesterday, exactly 1 week after symptoms first appeared. Okay, that's great. Yeah, hopefully we'll test negative soon. That'd be awesome. Hunter, Dylan's Patrice Bergeron comp for Beniers seems more accurate day by day. Yeah, I mean, Dylan knows what he's talking about. He's a really good scout. I see a lot of Patrice Bergeron-like things in Matty Beniers and how he plays. I mean, the defensive awareness, going to the right spots, the active stick defensively. He just checks all those boxes. And then, of course, with the scoring ability, being at a point per game through 4 games, that's something that Bergeron's capable of. And I think projecting that out, too, over, the course of a full season. Bergeron is not always a point per game player over a full season, but you look at how complete of a player he is and what he's capable of doing. Of course, Beniers isn't fully on that level yet. Patrice Bergeron is a legend, but you see a lot of the same things in their games, and so I think that is a really good comp. And I certainly trust Dylan on those, and more of a reason too to watch his scouting videos for this upcoming draft's prospects too. He's got his player comps for each of them, and he's been pretty spot on with those so far. So it's cool to see kind of the players the Kraken might be taking, especially in that 3, 4, 5 spot. Lindsay, did you see Gru giving out learn to play hockey certificates to those kids? I'm a little older, but I want Gru to give me a certificate too when I graduate from my class. Lol. Yes, I did see that. That was great that he showed up. And I mean, he's always doing that kind of stuff too. I've heard so many great Philip Grubauer stories, since I started covering the team. Every now and again, you'll just hear these stories of Philip Grubauer, and he just truly is the German gentleman. It is such a great nickname because he is so great, off the ice too, like going to something like that. I'm sure that made everyone's day there. I don't know, maybe he'll go to the adult learn to play classes, because the adults doing learn to play, they deserve love too. I mean, in a way that's even tougher getting into the game, learning to play once you're already an adult. A lot of that, the muscle memory and everything doesn't happen quite as quickly. So I think they deserve some love too. Kraken spectator, hope you're feeling better. I waved to Dylan for you. Oh, that's Kraken troll. I saw the picture you got with Dylan there up in the press bridge. That was cool to see him. Ty, I did notice lots of taps and chats between Lars and Gruby tonight. That's a relationship that is a must. Good to see them clicking. Yeah, for sure. Adam Larson, really good with communication, and we already know Philip Grubauer. I don't know that there's a goalie in the entire NHL that communicates with his defenseman more than Grubauer does. It's so important for him, having that connection there, having that relationship with his defense, and you see how it plays out on the ice, especially in a game like tonight where, with the Avalanche, they can burn you if you lose track of guys. Easily can burn you. And you see how impressive the defensemen are playing and sticking with their man. Nobody got behind anyone. The D-zone coverage and tracking is really good. And a lot of that has to do with Philip Grubauer. Calling out to the defensemen, communicating with everyone. It really makes a big difference there. We have George Costanza, solo Dylan at CPA. The streak continues. Yes, it does. I mean, Dylan's good luck everywhere he goes. What can I say? And hopefully we'll get him soon too. Let's see, we're at 34 minutes on the stream. Media taken, I guess, a little bit long, which has got to be a good sign, right? Everyone's happy. When it's a bad game and it's taking a long time, that's a pretty bad sign. But when it's a good game and taking a while, it can only be good things. So interested to see what he has to say. Sergeant Pickles, this game feels whiteboard breakdown worthy for the defensive efforts. Then they smothered the majority of chances, and Gruby was well positioned for the rest. Exactly, and I think I should go and do a shift breakdown or something. I posted I think it was a 21-second clip of the Kraken in the D zone just defending, and I tweeted, just a couple lines about what all the things they were doing well. But it might be good to slow things down a little bit too, and just kind of show where all the guys are at, what everyone's doing. I think I'm going to go look back at that and see if I can find a good defensive zone stretch that would be good to break down. And Sergeant Pickles, basically this is how I envision the season going from the start. Agreed. I mean, this is what we were talking about at the very start of the season when we talked about the Kraken as a team that can punch above their weight, that can win these 3-2 games, that can keep things low scoring, that can neutralize strong offensive teams, and get by on really strong goaltending and solid defense, just not letting guys get behind you. I mean, this is exactly what we envisioned, when we pictured the Kraken at the start of the season as one of these teams that, hey, they'll be maybe second, third in the Pacific, maybe a wild card spot, but when they get to the playoffs, they're going to be super dangerous. And this is exactly why. I mean, you take this Kraken team, throw out the results the rest of the season and put them in a playoff series versus the Avs, and I think the Avs are still probably taking it, but the Kraken, I think, showed their ability to maybe give them a punch in the nose there, just shutting them down defensively. Ty, are you more excited about the draft or free agency for the Kraken? The draft is how you build dynasties, but there are some good-looking free agents. Yeah, I will say objectively, I think the draft is more important for the Kraken this year, but as for which I'm more excited about, it's got to be free agency, just because I know they're going to be active. I know they could be, in there for one of the big names. It's the instant gratification there that I'm I guess more looking forward to than the draft. Although I will say, if you count trades, draft day trades, I might be looking more forward to the draft, because I think that's really where Ron Francis is going to have the best opportunities to smartly add guys. Free agency, I am worried about. If you go after the wrong guys, give them big contracts, things can turn out bad. But I think the trade market is set up really well for Ron Francis to go and get some big fish with his draft picks. All right, let's see. We hearing from Dylan? Yes, he is ready. Okay. So I am going to do the whole process here, try and do it right, and get Dylan on stream. Now, watch the loading Dylan screen. There's a little difference there that I think you guys are going to enjoy. All right, Dylan. Let's see.
Hey, do you need your headphones? Your headphones?
There we go. All right, we got you up. Here we go. All right, we got you
Those
here.
headphones,
I think all good. Putting on the headphones that I remembered this time.
All right, how you doing? There we go. Pretty good, pretty good. I mean, first Kraken 3 wins in a row, getting it done with me in the house. You're welcome, everybody.
Yes, chat made it very clear you are a good luck charm there, and I think you need to go to all future games, I think was the consensus from them.
I was going to say, I was trying to set the over-under on how many people wanted me just to steal the press pass for all next year at like 8.5 comments.
Yeah,
but
I think it's around that.
It's like the the FCC or whatever. Like every comment's really like 10,000 people, so it's close to 1 million people that want me to do that. I think.
I think you're right. That's probably the accurate number. Also, it's nice of you to show us a little bit of the background there. See, we were at Climate Pledge Arena, not just stealing the view for yourself, like last game.
Yeah, I know. Well, I got to take it in while I've got the chance. As I got the hair, Ryan Clark was giving me some grief about this.
Oh,
Said
was he?
I wasn't no Yanni Gord. The
Oh,
curls going on.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I knew he had to say something at some point. So good to hear that.
Yeah,
All right.
it's all good. We hugged it out.
Good, good. All right. So let's talk media availabilities. I mean, first of all, who'd we get? And kind of what was the takeaway? I'm sure the mood was a happy one. But what was kind of the keys to victory tonight?
All right. So first up, we had Grubauer, and he was Grubauer. It was cool as a cucumber. Everything was awesome. Talked about how getting the early leads like that really kind of set the tone for everybody, and how much fun and important it is to get a win against your former team. Like, try to downplay it a little bit, but at the same time, saying it through this massive grin, you know what's really going on there.
Oh yeah.
Next up, we had Jordan Eberle again talking about really the big thing that stuck out to him was just the energy and the climate that's been here in Climate Pledge Arena. I guess just to say atmosphere. And how awesome it's been and how it might be the best he's ever experienced in his career. Just the way the fans have been bringing it night in, night out, especially during the end of this season here. And that was echoed by Coach Hackstall at the end when he just talked about, it was important to get these 3 in a row. The guys are playing really, really good right now. But they're doing it for the fans that have stuck it out through thick and thin for the last 6 or 7 months, and how that's important to them as, they're finding ways to make these meaningful hockey games for them when they've been out of the playoff hunt for a while now, and that's been one of the things that they've been focusing on. And I got to say, they're doing a pretty good job of it right now.
I'd say so. I mean, the energy is, I'm sure, been fantastic, and you can tell that's something that's really important to the players and to Hackstall as well, is sticking by the fans who stuck with them for so long, and Colorado being there tonight. I mean, that's the biggest example, was that earlier Colorado game this season when the Kraken go down 7-0 and the fans are still behind them. You could tell that left a lasting imprint on the players and the coaches. Yeah. And good that they can make it right, against Colorado with a huge win tonight. So, Dylan, a couple questions here from chat. We'll start with, were you and your best buddy Nathan able to meet up after the game?
Was not. I did walk past a couple, members of the Avalanche. He was not one of them. My bus crash buddy, not there. I'm just thankful he didn't do too much damage to us tonight.
Yeah, no, exactly. Good that he was more or less kept in check. Yeah, good to hear that.
Walked away with just an assist. That's all right.
Yep. All right. So, and the other thing, we got to talk about Victor Rask. Everyone is asking you to talk about Victor Rask. I think they're just going to want your take on Victor Rask every game. Also, in the loading Dylan screen, we had a good image there of you with Victor Rask that I don't think you've seen yet.
Oh, but, it's good. I have not seen it. Look at that later. Yeah, so not as good as the other night. Obviously, the point streak is snapped. That's unfortunate. But he played an okay game. He struggled around the net. Offensively, his role in the zone was to kind of be the net front guy, or for the Kraken's case, right, net side guy. That tends to be more so what they have, and he lost a lot of battles there. There's no way around that. That being said, he made some nice defensive plays. He was able to slide in down low into the slot defensively and kind of help out. I feel like that's where the Kraken struggled the most today, was kind of down low in and around Grubauer. There was a lot of battles they lost in their defensemen throughout the course of this night. And so he had a couple nice plays down there helping them out.
Yeah, no, I agree. And there were a couple nice plays too along the boards that I noticed. So I spoke a little bit in his defense, but I know some of them were going to challenge you on that with the Victor Rask thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Not like Donskoy tonight. Holy cow.
Yeah, that was another request, actually.
Insane.
Yeah, how'd you know?
No, he was fantastic.
Yeah,
And what's great about him is defensively, he has such a sixth sense for where the puck's going. He'll turn around and start skating back well before any sort of play is developed, and then the next thing you know, he's collecting the puck in the defensive zone, ready to kind of break out again. He's really kind of dialed in that facet of his game right now. I think all the struggles scoring throughout the year, as he's been now in and out of the lineup, he's just focused on, okay, this is going to be my role for this year, and I'm just going to kind of focus on that. And you can tell.
Yeah, absolutely. And a quiet revenge game for him tonight too. All right, so
and you know that meant something to him.
Yep. So I want to just go to the bottom of chat real quick because we have Matt in here, Avs fan here. Kudos to the Kraken on the win. Thanks for stopping by, Matt. Appreciate that. Avs fans, classy as always. I do like the Avalanche. Like, they're one of my favorite teams in the NHL. Like, there's no reason not to like them. I can't think of any reason not to.
Yeah, well, you don't believe in them, though.
No, I don't. I'll admit that. Generally, the teams that I've liked have not been to be believed in. So
yeah,
I guess maybe that's just built in.
No, they're a fun team to watch. They got great threads, and their fans travel well. Tonight, no exception.
Yeah, I heard there were a lot of Avs fans in the building.
Yeah, not as many as in Anaheim for that game I went to earlier this year, but there was a fair amount.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good for them. Medeiros, German gentleman reference because John didn't give us one. Yes, I did. I made sure to say German gentleman a few times actually on the stream tonight. Yeah, certainly deserving of one tonight. Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, just locked it down. Like I said, really, it was just those struggles in front of him that was giving him problems, and those it's hard to blame him on. And then that last one, I could never get a good view of it, but he was obviously pretty salty about it.
Oh, for sure. For sure he was. But he got it out of his mind right away and played well going forward. Stratic held the Avs to 27 shots on goal, under 28. That's a team ID win. Yes, it is. Very close on that, but it is.
We did get that. Yep.
Sergeant Pickles, the offseason can make the communication even more solid. I think just a few tweaks turns a lot of the season's close L's into W's. Yeah, I mean, having a full offseason is going to be huge for this team. We've been saying it, pretty much the whole second half of the season, but having a full offseason really is going to help.
Yeah, and, Hacksaw was kind of talked about that. Playing well at the end of this year. Are you looking ahead at all? What you can try to carry over, go into the offseason with some positives, all that stuff. And, gave the answer you'd expect, which is no, we're not focused on the offseason yet. We still got to play these games in front of us. But still, did touch on they've been really working on the foundation of their play and everything right now, and you can tell that it's paying dividends. Like all the little things they're doing right, and that's what's helped them get these 3 wins.
Yeah, and good to see him getting rewarded for it. All right, we have a super chat from Brian. Thank you, Brian.
Thanks, Brian, as always.
Yep. One of the main changes since the trade deadline is puck support. It's what led to the Ebbs goal. In football, it's called ball hawking. Everyone plays for everyone. Donato and Matty outnumbered on the wall. Absolutely. I mean, you look at that first goal, and I talked about this earlier too, with Matty there and Donato as well, but that comes off winning a puck battle. Yes, the shot is exceptional from Eberle. Like, that's a fantastic shot that most players don't make most of the time, but it's fundamentally sound because it comes from winning a puck battle and comes from having numbers to win it.
Right. And then the numbers that you had to do that helps, Eberle just have a clear lane. Like you could tell he almost double takes in real time just because he's like, oh, I just have this clear lane to the goaltender. It's at the perfect angle to open up that kind of near side top corner, which he takes advantage of. As I tweeted, that's vintage Eberle. We haven't seen that from him so much this year in Seattle. So it was really fun to see that. Obviously, Matty gets another point on it, whatever. But apparently there was something to do with his stick. Now, we don't know exactly what it was. When Eberle was leaving the media availability, him and Hackstall met at the door. And while the door was still open, we heard Dave ask him something about the stick. Did you tell him about the stick? And Eberle said, no, whatever. And then the door closes. and then Hackstall comes in. So of course Ryan Clark immediately asks him, what about the stick? What about the stick? And Hackstall's like, hey, I can't tell you. That's for you got to ask him. Ask him about the stick. He had a great goal. That was a fantastic goal. Excellent snipe. You got to ask him about the stick. So we're gonna have to keep our eyes peeled, for lack of a better word, and we'll have to see what's going on.
I'm making
there.
a note of that. Next time we're talking to Eberle, got to ask him about the stick. Interesting.
We'll have to go. You could go back and look at that highlight, and then go back and look at some of his other goals. Maybe he changed up his stick. Do you think he's playing with somebody else's?
He might
get a new curve on there.
It would make sense, if that's what they're talking about.
Late in the year to wake yourself up a little bit before the off season.
Why not?
I've heard of stranger things.
Now's the time to try it.
Yeah.
Interesting. I love it. Isn't it great being there, Dylan?
You get the little
things like this. All right, Lindsay, Lars with a 2-minute 19-second shift in the third there. Good Lord, I would be dead in a puddle of exhaustion on the ice.
It felt like he played 35 minutes tonight.
Didn't it?
Like he was just always on the ice, no matter what was going on. He seemed like he was out there. And he just gets it done night in, night out. Like there is just no more solid of a workhorse. Like he's got that underappreciated minute muncher, think of obviously, Duncan Keith was fantastic, those Blackhawks Cup runs and stuff. But as we were talking earlier this year, like Ryan Suter during really his whole tenure in Minnesota, he was just somebody you could send out there. He's going to play basically half the game and make sure nothing bad happens.
Yep.
Like, it never felt like he lived up to that contract, but in a lot of ways he did, just because at the end of the day, what are you paying a defenseman for? It's to make sure nothing bad happens. And so that's just the kind of guy that Lars is, and he's so good at it. And it's all the little things. I really wish I should just start recording each and every shift, because he does so many little things that I'd love to point out to everybody. I'm gonna have to go back and get some tape of that.
I think we'd all love to see an Adam Larson tape breakdown. I think it'd be fun to do as well. Let's see. Kraken spectators, low-key quiet energy just makes me smile. I'm certainly saying he's been worming his way into a solid spot in my heart. Yes, everyone loving Adam Larson. They're finally on board with you, Dylan.
Yep.
Ty, there are so many free agent train wrecks that have tanked teams for years, some decades. Yeah, I was talking about being wary of free agency, even though I'm excited for it.
Yeah. I think, if they go after one of the big two, I don't know that it's going to turn into a complete disaster, given where the state of the franchise is and stuff. Mm-hmm. Particularly if they do what you and I talked about, go big on the salary and see if you can shorten up the term, because that's generally what gets you in the long run. Yep,
if you can pull that off, that's a win. Stratic, so we are in uncharted territory now. How about a 4th win in a row versus the Wild? Huh? I now believe they can do it. I mean, they've shown us something different now. Who knows where this ends?
Stranger things have certainly happened. We'll have to wait and see. That being said, they're not going to have the fans here behind them, and obviously, based on all the post-game interviews, it's been a big part of this. So it'll be fun to see now with Beniers kind of more worked into the lineup, and this more solid focus on the fundamentals and all the little things, how that translates to a road game.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a different kind of vibe going out on the road. We'll see how they do. Sergeant Pickles, who would you now say is on the contract-worthy list? To me, it's Donato, Kuhlman, Lind, and both Fleuries. Donato, Kuhlman, and Lind for sure. And, and Kuhlman and Lind are RFAs. Yes. And Donato as well. I mean, we know, we've talked about Donato. You're all on board with bringing him back.
Yeah.
For sure. Cale Fleury for sure. He's an RFA, definitely that's cheap, no downside. Hayden Fleury is the other question, just because of what the cap hit's going to have to be. It's going to be near $1.5 million. They're going to have to make a tough decision on that.
Yeah. And realistically, that's still low given what he can be and what we've seen him be at times. I think they should only do that if they are going to commit to him. And they're going to commit to giving him ice time and to play him, almost night in, night out. Yeah. If you're not going to do that, then you might as well, let him move on somewhere where he can have that opportunity. Because we saw it this year. He's talked about it. We all know the story there. He needs that consistency in and out to keep his level of play up.
Yeah, and you want to do right by him. So, if you're not going to commit to him going forward, look for a trade. If not, just don't qualify him.
Cale, I thought had a rough game tonight.
Oh, did you? Did you think so? Yeah, I mean, like, I
It
liked. I had
wasn't.
moments I liked and moments I didn't like.
He's one of these guys where he plays so much off of his instincts,
Hmm.
and there are just nights where those are there, and there are nights kind of like tonight where they aren't. And like his first read is wrong, and maybe that's because he's playing a really good team and full of guys like a Nathan McKinnon that's going to be deceptive against you. A Kel McCarr can be deceptive against you. You know what I mean? Like these are really
Right.
good players. But I just felt like there was lots of times where his first step wasn't the best step, and then other times where I talked about earlier the Kraken getting beat right in around Grubauer. He was in there a lot on those.
Yeah. So interesting. See, and I trust your judgment on that kind of thing, well, more than my own, really. But
It was just one of those things where it felt like I was seeing the 8 a lot, which means he was turned around facing his goaltender, and you
yeah,
generally don't want to see that.
interesting little rule of thumb there. That's cool. Um, Rexology. This is kind of on the subject we've been on. Any thoughts on the current D? I hear talk about picking up a free agent D, but I am okay with it as is. Some depth would be good, but I think they could hold up as is.
Yeah, I mean we've talked about that. There's going to be guys on the market. I don't know. You and I have talked about neither of us really think they should go after like a Klingberg and get into that sweepstakes and
No,
spend a bunch of money on a position that you don't really need. I feel like they have a solid top 4 already.
they
It
do.
doesn't necessarily make
I
sense to target a free agent.
I wouldn't mind adding to it via the trade market if you feel like you can get a good deal. If the Oilers are, like, say, desperate to clear out some salary and are looking to move Tyson Berry or something, I'd be on board with that. But yeah, certainly not free agency, I don't think.
And
Uh,
again, Riker Evans, I think he's going to be ready.
yeah, and that could solve that problem right away without you having to bring in anyone else.
Yep.
Sergeant Pickles, we all know that if Dylan goes to every game, the juju wears out. Got to space it out. He should only attend home games against Vegas or Vancouver.
We could do something like that.
Yeah, there you go.
See if we can
Yeah, and
turn those V's into victories.
yeah. Rexology. Press pass could just follow the luck. Switch it up when the juju wears out.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like
we'll
this is
do
the
it like
equivalent.
they
Just,
ride a hot goaltender.
exactly. We're getting some Drieger starts right now, and it's going well. Um, um, Lindsay, I probably won't be at the Friday post game because I'll be with family, but I'll try and hop on after the Dallas game on Saturday because I will be at the game. ECH reporting live on the ground. Cool. Love when we have people going to the road games.
I
Um,
know. I want lots of updates, Lindsay.
Yep. Yep. Got to get those. Sergeant Pickles, every game from now on will feature Dylan's hashtag Rask Rundown.
I could definitely do that.
Yep. Ty pointing
We'll
out Rask
see.
had 60% D zone starts tonight.
Yeah, no, I mean he's on that defensive kind of first line. I thought that Winberg line played pretty good tonight. They've been really solid these last couple nights. Again, kind of becoming more of a traditional checking line for the Kraken.
Mm-hmm.
Since we've seen Maddie come up, they're starting to rotate their lines like we're a traditional team would, and he's been doing good there. And then the Yanni Gord line has just been on fire since adding McCann to Gord's wing. That line is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Coleman gels with both of them. Yanni feels like he has an extra little like pep in his step, and it's been pretty great.
Yeah. No, you could tell he's excited about his line mates in that situation. Let's see. Then good to see everyone being nice. The Avs fan in chat. That's great. Let's see. Oh yeah, and he asked another question, Avs related question. I'll skip down to this one. Do you think the Kraken would be in on Nichushkin as a UFA, and if so, what type of contract would you offer?
I don't know that he kind of fits the Kraken's style. The Kraken aren't really a team that wants all their size up front and that kind of like defensive physical game. Like I don't know who he'd play with and kind of how they utilize him.
Right. I can't think of a spot to necessarily put him in the lineup. And I think he's going to have a kind of sneaky high amount of demand too on the market. Because
Yes.
there are going to be some teams that are really good fits for him. And especially now that he's rounded out his scoring a little bit more this season, he's probably going to make more than what the Kraken should or would be interested in paying him.
Yeah, here's one that just popped into my head. If they could make the money work, Tampa kind of fill in some of that gap left by Goudreau or what's his name?
Coleman,
Coleman.
Gord, Goudreau.
Yeah.
Yep. No, that would be a great fit. If Nichushkin was interested there, I'm sure he'd have to take a little less money, but it seems like players are willing to do that to go to Tampa. Sergeant Pickles, I got the impression that they gave up some board battles behind the net to focus blocking McKinnon and Makar net front instead. Just me? What do you think, Dylan?
The defensemen were definitely hesitant to go below the goal line. You notice a lot of like Matty Beniers back there, Wenberg back there, Victor Rask back there. A lot of the forwards, it was kind of their job tonight to dip below the goal line and try to get it done back there while the D focused on up front. You're right. But like I said, they could never quite get a handle on them. And easier said than done against guys like Cale Makar, Nathan McKinnon, right? Like,
for sure,
there's a reason they put up ungodly amounts of points. It's because they're really, really good at hockey. But yes, I think you read that right.
Yeah, no, agreed. You've got to pick your battles, pick your poison with those guys. Sergeant Pickles, on this happy 420, teams from the first two states to legalize the green put on a blazing performance.
They
did.
They
sure did.
The band in house was able to sneak one in there.
Oh, really?
Happy 420. Yeah, we got that. Nice.
That's great. Let's see, Matt, the Avs fan, if you guys win the lottery, are you thinking Wright or Cooley? Heard a few folks waffling on that choice these days. Definitely Shane Wright. You agree? Yeah.
Yeah. The potential is just so much higher there in everything. And the floor is like essentially, second line easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just, he's fantastic. But we did say last time Cooley would be my second choice. So.
Yeah, if they're picking in that, as Sergeant Pickle says, in that 2 to 7 range, Cooley is absolutely a target there. Ty, Matty only 13 minutes on ice tonight with a 71% offensive zone starts. Did Hack mention anything about focusing him on the offensive game? Kind of interesting with him being a 200-foot player. No, that's definitely different usage than we saw last game where he played, 19 and a half minutes. And I don't know what the zone starts were, but I don't imagine they were that favorable.
No, my guess is, and this is something my mom's been going on about, is don't wear him out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I think that is something that they have to worry about. He is coming off of a full college season. Like, it's not like, oh, he's just coming up out of nowhere and he's been well rested. To come up and have the hot start that he's had to his NHL career, it's been great and all. But yeah, it doesn't mean that each and every night you need to kind of give him 17 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I thought tonight he did look a little slower and a little more fatigued. Like, the hits are probably starting to add up on him. We're not used to those at any level before this. And especially with the way he plays, he absorbs a lot of contact.
Yeah, and I was wondering how the ice time trend would continue too, because you look at the prior 3 games, it's 15 minutes, 17 minutes, 19 minutes, just going up by 2 minutes every game. I'm like, there's no way that continues tonight.
No.
But yeah, so interesting to see that. Reading ID, did you see that Lars Deep V tutorial? I'm assuming no, because I'm not sure you will survive. I did.
No,
see that,
I did.
Actually. Yeah,
I watched it on repeat for a good half hour, 45 minutes, and it was a nice cure-all to any rainy day feelings I was having.
Yeah, no, that was fantastic. Ty term kills, asked the Wild in a twin 13-year contracts. Thankfully not allowed to do that anymore.
Hey, I was going to say, and we did that breakdown. If you looked at the first 7 years, those contracts aren't bad.
Yeah. No. Yeah, they're really not.
It's true, though.
But yeah, no, 13-year term kills. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And Matt, the Avs fan, asking us, please beat up the Wild. Yep. Sergeant Pickles, are the toughest roster calls then Hayden and Driegs and Dax? Yeah, I think the goalie thing is probably the toughest roster call.
That's going to be the big one. That's going to be the one that I'm going to be waiting on. And it's going to be interesting to see the timing of it. Because I think that's one of those things that's going to happen pretty quick into the offseason, or it's going to happen draft day.
Yeah, I think so. They're going to be forced into that move at that point, because that's when the goalie carousel is going to be in full motion, and you can't let the market miss you on that, and just lose Decor to waivers or whatever you're going to have to do. So we'll see. And then Ty kind of asking which way we would go. I think I still think just value wise, you've got to move Drieger, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, either way, I'd hate to lose either one.
Yeah, it's a no-win situation.
Yep. Brian, 100% Kale Fleury had a sketchy night. He recovered from first move poor decisions, though.
Yeah, he did. He was always involved in the plays. He never got like left in the dust.
Mm-hmm.
And so, massive amounts of credit to him on that, especially against this Colorado team that is very capable of doing that to people.
Yeah, for sure.
It was just like I said, for a guy who plays off instinct, if your instincts are off one night or you're having a problem reading a certain team, it's you do have to work hard to recover.
Yep. Lindsay, as much as I love Driegs, I think Gruen Decor the future of the Kraken. Hopefully we'll get a good return from at least. Yeah, kind of echoing what we said. And yeah, there would be a good return. I mean, the goalie market, there's going to be demand there.
Yeah.
Rexology, Hayden is going to be hard to sign. I feel like Kale has shown more, and if Riker Evans steps in, that leaves Hayden as a 7-8 option. I like him, but not sure the ice time is there. Yeah, agreed. And I think that's kind of what we mentioned. You've got to decide, is he in the future or not? And then, act accordingly.
Yep.
Let's see.
And we'll see if Kale's around. I don't know that I get the sense that he will be.
Interesting. Yeah,
particularly if you bring in Evans and then you may be a target, a depth free agent.
Yeah. I think he might be. We'll see how much longer he's waiver eligible. I don't know. Or, whether he... but yeah, I'll check that for next season. Matt, I'm pretty sure Nichushkin is top priority for the Avs, just trying to get an outside perspective on his worth. Yeah, I mean, they would love to get him re-signed, I'm sure. And I think, yeah, he's going to be quite valuable around the league. I think teams realize, how valuable of a piece he can be.
Yeah, as with so many of those guys, it'll depend on how the playoffs go. If they get bounced in the first 2 rounds or something, who knows what's going to happen with that team.
That's true. I could see some shakeups there for sure. I mean, Kadri is got to be gone basically too. So, Ty, RJ's video is flipped now and it's weirding me out. Lol. Point right. Yeah. Yeah, my video is flipped now. It's because I'm the one starting the call and calling you. So that's what's doing it. Haven't figured out how to fix that, but I will at some point. Ty, another
It's just Discord. I don't know that there is a fix.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, there probably isn't. Ty, another Rask bailout. He's a career center that is now playing wing. Although, it's not hard for centers to bump out and play wing. It is a little easier assignment-wise, and it's not too hard to get used to. I know there are things to get adjusted to, but, you can do it. It's really hard to go the other way around.
Right, and I think that this is, the way of extending his career. Gets his 500th game in tonight. That's a nice milestone for him.
Glad you got to be there for that one.
I know, a very special night for all of us. And that speaks to why he was playing, behind the net or net front in the defensive zone, right? He was kind of taking over that center coverage assignment.
Yep. Let's see. Hunter, Riker Evans will be a better Hayden Fleury. Yeah, he's definitely got more upside. He could certainly take that spot.
Yeah, because he's going to have the shot, but he can also distribute and dish it too.
Yes. Yep, definitely. Stratic, what's the story on Derek Pouliot? I mean, he's around. He's still practicing skating with the team. He's just, you look at Borgen, you look at Hayden Fleury, you look at Kale Fleury. He's clearly behind all 3 of those guys in the lineup. And he was, I think, just kind of brought in as a filler while guys were hurt, just someone that they needed on the blue line. But he's still around, seems in good spirits. According to...
Saw him at the...
Yep.
Yeah, saw him at the morning skate the other day. He was, out there getting the work in, all that stuff. Just... I'm with you. I think realistically, the only reason they picked him off waivers was just because they needed a body. Yep. Remember, he had to play those first 3 games just because there was literally no one else.
Yep. So that's basically the story on him. Reading ID, LMAO, Kraken socials really pandering to Dylan lately between the Larson homage and pushing that Rask flow propaganda. Yeah, how about the who's got the best hair video coming out?
No. I was going to say, someone was clearly watching stream or picking up on things on Twitter last night. We see you. And it was pretty great. And, I can't fault the team kind of going with Wenny. He does have the best hair, but the best flow, like the longer stuff, that's where it gets tough. And, Tanev and Rask tied.
Yep, they did. Be interesting.
But otherwise, yes, they knew I was coming up clearly and they wanted to help welcome me.
Yes, of course.
And I appreciate it.
Yep. Warm welcome from them. Sergeant Pickles, Dylan can do next Halloween as half Rask, half Lars with the sweet flow and a deep V.
Do I do half beard?
I was gonna say, like, how do you pull that one off? Like, is it you just down the
Short
middle
hair
like
and
a
beard on
Franken
one
jersey?
side, long hair on the other.
I don't know.
That would be. I might need some serious super chat incentive on that
I
one.
was gonna say, yeah. Then what do you do November 1st? Like,
Do I come up for that game and try to go to the press box like that?
I know. Oh, that'd be funny. Ty, wing is
Love
more.
to see Hackstall's face
Oh
comes into the
yes,
media room. Whoever sees that,
you know he'd make a quip about it for sure. Like
for sure, it would be awesome.
Yep. It's man again so good when they're winning too, because like it's great when Hackstall's in a good mood. He's funny. He's sure people. It's awesome.
Oh yeah, Piper asked him about having Cole Lind come back into the lineup. He scores 2 minutes in. Like, what'd you think of his game tonight? And he just goes, "Well, I thought he'd score a minute in." Like, just like
love it. I mean, that's what we get from winning Dave Hackstall. We haven't seen it much this season, but it really is a treat.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ty, wing is more restrictive than center IMO. Lots of specific spots to hit versus kind of floating. Yeah, I mean that is true, but it's less responsibility still.
Mm-hmm.
Sergeant Pickles, any right shot D-men available in free agency or draft that could contribute right away? None in the draft. And then in free agency, there's really only one that's a difference maker, and that's John Klingberg. And because of that, he is going to get paid more than the Kraken should pay him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I like this question from Ty. Dylan, opinion on CPA after returning since November? I mean, it had been a while since you'd last been there. I know they've changed up some things too, as far as game day experience too. Like, what's your thoughts on the difference?
Yeah, so obviously the pregame stuff is awesome because now it exists, right? So that's been a lot better and a lot more fun, and it really, I think, sets the tone for the crowd throughout the night, and it gets everybody ready to go. It gets the building really loud. That press bridge gets a rocking, which is fun for some of us, not so much for others. And I like that. And then just overall, everything's been smoothed out. You know what I mean? Like November, talking month 2, new arena, new setup, everybody's new. There's, hitches here and there. You've got the dead pixels on the Twins. You've got, the mid, intermission or mid commercial break entertainment stuff is still being worked out to try to find what, best suits the audience and what gets people involved, right? And all that stuff at this point has been figured out. And so it's a ton of fun, and it was so loud tonight. Mm-hmm. Like, I thought it was loud the other nights, and obviously it was huge when Matty gets his first goal. But like tonight, the closing minute of this game, like I just took tons of video because I was just like, this building's so electric, and I want to be able to remember this. And I put out there the last couple seconds of the game through the goalie kisses on both accounts on Twitter, because it was just so loud and so much fun.
That's great, and I'm sure it's up another level, even from what I've experienced at this point. Because this win streak has kind of changed things. It feels like.
As Hackstall said, these are the fans that have stuck through it thick and thin. These are the diehards, the ride or die fans. Yep. And so to be rewarded with the first 3-game win streak and to do it against one of the top teams in this league, I mean, everybody knew what tonight was about. And to start off the way it did and just keep that energy and momentum going, it was really awesome.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Jeremy, if Vancouver closes the gap to a point or 2 points for the final playoff spot, how good would it be for the Kraken to beat the Canucks in Vancouver to dash their playoff hopes? That'd be a fun little bonus to close out the season.
It would for sure be awesome, and it would be the thing that could kickstart their rivalry that hasn't really had anything to get it going yet. Mm-hmm. That would for sure get it going. There's no way around that. But it'll be interesting to see. I don't know that they're going to be in a spot still.
Yeah, I don't think so. But it gives me a reason to root for Vancouver until that point, because I want to see that game mean something.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see.
Yeah, we got that unfortunate Shea Theodore play. Everybody was talking about it too. Everly came into the room talking about it. Hackstall came into the room talking about it. It was a sick walk-in.
Yeah, I Still haven't
Oh
seen
yeah,
it.
you haven't seen it.
No, I still
Sorry.
haven't seen it yet, so I will take a look
Yeah.
at it. Um, Reading ID, they posted about Rask's flow again today, though. Lol, y'all have a fixation.
You know, I just brought attention to it, and everybody's recognizing it for what it is,
Yep,
which
you've
is
done a lot of
great.
that. Yep, this season. Thinking of Adam Larson as well. Um, Brian, Forsland said there are no righty centers in reference to a faceoff. I do remember that call. I'm new here, but faceoff is a skill, not a position. Having not played hockey, I ask, were centers only trained in the skill? So there are definitely like wingers who kind of know what to do, and a lot of times teams will have guys based on handedness. If it's an offensive zone draw, have a guy who's not the center come in and take that face off. If they have a couple guys who are capable of it, they might have them switch out and a different one take the draw. So no, I mean players practice that, not just centers, but centers do practice it a lot more.
Yeah, and then obviously power play stuff too,
Yep.
because you'll try to have some sort of set play. So if you got somebody that's really good at a draw straight back, through their legs or something, you might put them out there if a play calls for it versus somebody who's just going to try to win it out to, the wing there.
Yep, exactly. Let's see, where are we? Reading ID, not me. I definitely don't have a fixation. By the way, while we're being nice to Hackstall, he actually has lovely hair. That classic graying at the temples. Yeah, he does have good hair.
Yeah, he does. He's a good looking guy.
He is. No, he really is. We're at that. This is what you unlock when you get 3 wins in a row. Chat talking about Hackstall has nice hair. Love it. Sergeant Pickles, I will refund a super chat each game. RJ or Dylan do a food review for something in CPA. Okay, I need to do another food review before the season's out. There's 2 home games left. I will do one in chat. Let us know which one you want to see, because I got to do another one.
I could say my mom very much enjoyed the Shack Big Chicken Spicy Chicken Sandwich. Absolutely loved it, but the fries were super soggy, so I'm not a fan of those. The other thing is, I guess from the press bridge, we had the chicken strips tonight.
Oh, those are popular.
I'm sure those come from somewhere in the arena. I don't know exactly where, but they were good. They were nice and juicy. They weren't, a lot of times I had them dry, and a lot of times you worry about it getting, pretty dry and whatever sitting there, and they didn't. They were good.
Yeah.
Pull apart nice and good.
Yeah, they're very good, and they're very popular too. Like of all the press box food, those go the fastest. You've got to get on them quick, or else they're going to be gone.
I did. Don't worry.
Yeah, no, I'm sure you did. I don't doubt you there.
But good breading level and good spice to the breading. So
yep.
I don't know where they're at, everybody, but if you go and hunt them down in one of those last 2 games, I think you'll enjoy them.
Yep. Valentina, I like she's pointing out here in Brian's comment, laughing that he said, I'm new here. Yeah, I don't know if Brian, if you qualify for being new here at this point.
Yeah.
Let's see. Valentina, we're like 70% left-handed. Yeah, the Kraken are a pretty lefty-heavy team.
Hey, I mean, they got nothing on us, RJ.
Yeah, seriously, yeah. Dylan and I both left-handed there.
I guess we got to get our graphics guy in there to get a righty.
Yep, that's what we got to do. Ty, I take videos to remember stuff by also, but I jump around way too much. Whoever sits by me next week, be prepared to selly.
Oh, let's go. I got to think it's so much fun to watch a game with you, Ty.
Yep. Oh, hey, we got Scott from Cheap Seat Sports hopping in the chat.
Hey.
We caught his attention here. We talking chicken fingers? The barbecue sauce is good too. Yes, we are. I'm sure you probably had some of those tonight. The barbecue sauce is good. Yeah, gotta like the chicken fingers. And thanks for stopping by, Scott. Yeah, I think you got to sit pretty close to him today, huh?
Yeah, and thanks for the heads up that those were out, because he's the one who came back with them, and I saw him and I just booked it. I didn't wait for a stoppage and play. I took my chances, and it was all good.
Yep, Scott taking good care of you. I'm not surprised. Sergeant Pickles with the super chat. Mini review is acceptable. Thank you. Yeah, so here we go. Prepaying for the review. Definitely going to do a food review for sure in one of these last 2 games. Got to do it. The people want it.
At some point, we should do like a beer review as 2 guys who don't drink beer.
Yeah, I don't.
That's the content everybody wants.
Oh man, I'm sure. Yeah, people who know me would certainly be interested in seeing that. Um,
It's fine.
yeah, yeah. I don't
It's not
know. I have
terrible.
nothing to compare it to. Um,
It has more of a taste than that one. Is that good? I don't know.
exactly. Oh man. Valentina suggesting the pulled pork mac and cheese. Oh man, that sounds good to me. That's
Oh my god.
clubhouse leader here. Or the $8 cookie. There we go. I could just do the both of those together. The pulled pork mac and cheese and the $8 cookie. I know
Are
everyone
those the
wants to see
cookies
the
we get?
expense. I don't think so.
I was
Although
gonna
I don't
say.
know.
I
The
mean,
cookies
they're
we get
good
are pretty
cookies
good.
and they're good and they're big, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm cheap when it comes to food.
I know there's a really expensive cookie. I think there's an even more expensive cookie too. I think there's like a $14 cookie somewhere. At least there was to
What does
start
that
season.
even look
I know. I'm
like?
like, I have to know. Like, what is this?
Dipped
Like,
in gold? Like
I know. So yeah, I will look for the most expensive cookie they have, and maybe have some pulled pork mac and cheese with it. I need some savory food with it, so I'll do that. Um,
I say, I'm in the wrong business doing this with you. I got to go start baking my famous cookies again. Apparently, there's good money in it.
oh yeah, I mean, hey, look, that's how Shaq's making all his money there with the big chicken.
Mhm.
That's how Guy Fieri makes all his money at the airports. It's profitable.
Yes,
Um,
the Burbank Flavor Town.
oh yeah, you know how it is. Um, oh man, where are we in chat here? Uh, Sergeant Pickles, when CPA gets an eventual Game 7 OT winner, we might get a Kraken Quake. Oh yeah, for sure. 100% we're getting a Kraken Quake when that happens.
I'd love to put a Richter scale on the press bridge. Just
Oh yeah,
count that movement.
someone just
Vibration.
walks up the stairs, you're going to get a pretty big movement there.
I know. I'll have to communicate with my sister on that one. She's got access to those.
There you go.
See if she can make one of those disappear for a trip up here for a little while.
Oh yeah, worthwhile. Hunter, we've beat the top 2 teams in the league. Crazy. Giant Slayers. The Giant Slayers are back. It's been a while, but they're back. This win goes up there with the Oilers, both Panthers and Wings as favorites for me. Yeah, it's definitely got to be up there. And those are
because what's crazy
too.
is I talked about how like on that first game on Saturday, it was just like it felt like a foregone conclusion. Matty B was going to score his first goal. Like you just knew it, and you just knew the Kraken were going to pull it out in either overtime or the shootout. And it was just one of those things that was in the air, it was in the universe, and you could just feel it. Tonight it was again. This was probably the first time I've ever seen the Kraken have a lead and not just been waiting for it to disappear.
Right. I part of me was still like, okay, when are they going to blow this? But they just didn't. And I never really worried too much about it either.
Right. And I think for me, it wasn't necessarily so much the Kraken as it was Francouz just never looked good. Like he never looked like he was getting it back. So it was just, it always felt like, well, at any time they're going to score another 1 or 2.
That's true. Yeah. Francouz did not look very solid. Sergeant Pickles will never be able to unsee Hackus Frylock from Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Oh my gosh. I haven't seen that, but I totally see it. Like I totally get it.
Yeah. And I think I've seen Chris Kreider as the other reference on that one too. Yeah, that's good. Reading ID. Okay, let me harness my one brain cell to bring up an actual hockey topic tonight. Oh, here we go. Someone with the AHL deep knowledge. How do we watch Joey Decord kick ass in the playoffs?
That's a good question. Is there a streaming package for the AHL?
There is. I think I don't know if they do something like for the playoffs where it's a little better a deal. I know you can get one for a full season, but it's costly.
Usually they'll like, you know, as each quarter passes on the season, they knock down the price on it. But yeah, At this point you're talking about what, like 3 or 4 games. So
yeah. So I look around. I'm sorry I don't have more to help you there. Hopefully,
but yeah, they will do playoff packages usually.
Yeah, so hopefully someone can help you there. Yeah, Lindsay, all right, it's bed o'clock for me. Congrats on 3 in a row, ECH fam. Let's go Kraken. Yeah, we're at the okay, I'm gonna get this right. We're at the hour 24.
The minute what mark?
Yeah. We're at the hour 24 mark. Thanks again for everyone for staying with us so long. You know, we still got 46 people in here, so didn't want to shut it down, but thank you, Dylan, for staying too.
The 84-minute mark. Let's go.
Yep, chat is winding down though, so let's try and get through some of these. Scott from Cheap Seats, RJ and me in the box took 10 games to get a win. Dylan and me 3 games, 3 wins. Just saying. Yeah, I mean, Dylan, like I said earlier in the stream before you arrived, Dylan is good luck everywhere he goes. That's just how it is. That's why I stick around him here. One of the reasons. But it's always a good idea.
Lucky baby since before I was born.
It's true. Ty, I can do the beer reviews. One of my musts there. Yeah, best we get someone else to do those. And then also, Ty, those cookies.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
We got to do one person who knows what they're talking about, one person who doesn't. That's the way to do it.
Yes. No, that's the proper setup there. And then those cookies are insane, though. The cookies and cream was wow. Yeah, maybe because there is a cookies and cream one.
I saw one up there on the press bridge, and I didn't go for that one. I did the chocolate chip classic, but I did see that one up there, and it looked good.
The cookies and cream ones are very good, but the chocolate chip classic are so well done.
So good.
Sergeant Pickles, the Dark and Stormies on tap are worth the money. All right, there's some advice there. Lindsay, breaking news: Groovy gets the Davy Jones hat. Nice,
it
well
totally
deserved it. Completely. We got Gru and Chad, Hair Captain, and the German flag emoji. Yeah, Ty mentioned he's got the WHL streaming package, but no idea about AHL. It's tough. Brian, having watched the inaugural seasons for both the Mariners and Seahawks, and maybe the 5th year of the Sonics, I cannot impress enough what a great thing this is for the Kraken. Yeah, I mean, like, to have this energy toward the end of the season, it is huge.
It's totally awesome. And, it's going to be interesting to see how the team handles it. Both Hackstall, the coaching staff and the players, but also the organization as a whole. How do you translate these massive electric nights like tonight where you have 17,000 people leaving, talking about how they just had one of the best experiences of their lives? How do you translate that into excitement when you essentially go into 4 months of dead air? Right. You know what I mean? For that matter, RJ, how are you and I going to do it?
Yeah, because that's definitely something, that we're going to have to do. We're going to figure stuff like that out. And yeah, we'll we'll work on it. And I'm sure the Kraken will have good stuff too, especially now with, COVID restrictions loosening and they're hopefully able to get out in the community more, because I know that's something they've really wanted to do, but just were not able to do it this past off season.
Yeah. Year two's going to be fantastic, top all the way down.
Yep.
For the organization, team, and us.
100%. Elsie asked, off topic, but Dylan, have you seen our team dog Davy Jones yet?
I have not. Hasn't been around as far as I know. Yeah,
Dylan wasn't around kind of when Davy Jones was everywhere and making appearances all the time, but Davy hasn't been around as much recently. But
yeah, I've been asking where he is. Like, we're not seeing him on the Twitter or anything.
Yeah, they brought him out to one of the open practices. I think it was Benir's first practice. They did bring him to, so that's the last I've seen him. Sergeant Pickles off to bed. Lots of volunteers to help on the beer reviews, unsurprisingly.
Awesome.
Yep.
Hey, RJ, I can't believe it. I didn't get a mascot reveal.
Oh, yeah. No mascot reveal for Dylan. That's the limit, I guess, to the luck there. That would have been really something there. And Barbara, good night for you guys. I'm already at work.
Wow. We are going late.
Yeah, we are. Just hit 11 o'clock here. Stratic, are you guys going to do an expansion draft, redraft at some point for old time's sake? Yes, for sure. We will do an expansion draft, redraft. We're going to do a whole, dive into that, because now we'll have the full season worth of hindsight. It's going to be one of those things we do right as the season ends. It'll be a fun exercise. I know the Athletic did one like a week, this past week. Interesting timing on that one, but we'll do a better one. Because they just had all their team beat writers do it one by one. Didn't form an actual team, or whatever. So we'll do a better one. We'll have a better format. We'll make sure to do it.
I was gonna say, I'm glad I'm getting out of here. I don't have to take the flack from Ryan about
I know.
That.
I see Ryan just show up. Hey, get him to come on here again. Worth it. So Ty, Wendy should stay so we can watch a game next week. Lol, it's free. Come on. Yeah, with the free ticket. And then
What if we could?
Yeah, pointing out AHL TV. I'm trying to get to the bottom chat here. Reading ID, Night All. See y'all at our hot Friday night date with the Wild. And there we go. Oh, and Barbara pointing out that it's 8 a.m. there. Brian saying goodnight, and I have reached the end of chat.
All right.
This is awesome. Thanks. We're at 1:29:45, so we're gonna hit an hour and a half mark. Thank you, everyone. Nice. Still got 40 people with us. This is awesome. Thanks everyone for sticking with us. Glad to hear from you, Dylan, at the game, bringing his luck to everyone. This is, kind of riding a high, unlike anything the organization has seen before since maybe the start of the season.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing. The lights go.
Off.
Yep. They're telling you to get out of there.
Yeah.
So thanks everyone for joining us. Had an awesome time yet again. Looking forward. We're gonna have the road game against Minnesota. Everyone join us for that. And we'll see you next time.